I mean, as I just said, I'll let you know, like, in the chat box, or if you want directly, 5 minutes before, when you're 5 minutes at the end of your presentation, so that you can, yeah.
Surely. I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, since I'm stipulated for the session to deliver my take on digital young adult literature. So I'm going to talk about world over the domains of this digital young literature, what the work has so far been done, and notable work also about how it impacts the other generations of people, how exciting, how cognitively challenging, and how it's so immersive with the advent of the technology, the new technology. Actually, it opens the whole horizon of the new world, and it involves rather like artificial intelligence to begin with, and also to create a world in itself which is sometimes rather more exciting, more intimidating, or more involving than the actual world. So young adult works, basically novels or some of the poetry that I'm going to mention as instances. But to begin with, I'd like to deliberate upon, as a genre, it's a complete genre in itself, may not be recognized all over. Actually, when I started this, looking for things and the associated things, I was not very confident about what this involves and what actually, because I don't belong to this generation, this young adult digital literature generation, and I haven't been specializing or some sort of direct involvement with this. But when I delved deeper, I came to realize that this is digital technologies are actually rapidly becoming embedded in our complete whole world of day-to-day life, and it's more and more aspects of our daily lives, our personal social lives increasingly influenced by them, and our culture is constantly being shaped by new developments. And each year there are conferences being hosted, and the media art festivals are being organized, reading, writing, and video games. I've been hearing about the video games and cyberpunks. Sounds to be a bit out of my domain since but I've been trying to catch up with what has been happening in the digital world and the immersive world. Not only about augmentation and augmented reality, virtual reality, or extended reality we're talking about. Also talking about the metaversity now. It's not just no more university, it's a metaversity. And probably the first two speakers, they also highlighted upon this aspect of how this idealism versus realism, and how the employment of these high-tech gadgetries and devices like ocular lenses and Google lenses and so many. Actually, all the companies are vying to come up with those virtual reality gadgetries, and the gadget industry is no doubt has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now there is one more thing that has rocked, and it's quite a buzz, in the market. That's chatbots and So that's why I'm just showing how, virtual interlocutors for language learning. We have been using it like Siri, and uh, they have been listening to our commands, and even automation in home, and AI in Internet things, because most of the gadgets you are using, social media platform and personal life, they're all interlinked now, and they sense and they sense our excitement, our preferences, our, in fact, whole loads of data are being collected to get into the psyche of how these data harnessing and data curating could be employed to get to know about our inclination, our preferences, our past habits and future goals. And in fact, I've also included this, cyberpunk. There's these video games and those immersive technologies. And the in thing is, like, as a teacher, as a practitioner, we are being intimidated by the sudden upsurge of some of the chat GPTs 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and they are like, optimizing language models, and they are, in for not only answering to our queries, also doubling, refining, and we're giving us, instantly prompted dialog boxes. In fact, so writing poetry for us is giving responses on even the most complicated, enigmatic, or complex sort of ideas. And in fact, I was aghast to know that this chat GPT, they could, especially this 3.5 and on, because Microsoft and other companies are, Google, of course, is the leader. Microsoft is coming up with its own kind of chatbot, and is going to affect not only our academic world in negatively or adversely, in the sense that this is not about Google giving you multiple options of stored knowledge. Actually, it's coming up with its own version of knowledge. So these platforms are really creating a buzz because of the plagiarism checking. And in the USA, most of the schools have banned these chatbots because they can instantly model most of the prompts, writing prompts in the classrooms, and it is becoming increasingly Herculean for the teachers and to check on. Thanks, one of the guys has come up with like zero GPT that could actually distinguish between what is fabricated or spurted out, actually spit out in seconds by the chatbot. So that's a good news that there are filters, and there are, So coming to this digital world of the young adults, I've just, an illustration of the kinds of electronic literature collection one. This is a picture that's being shown here. It shows the collections of, and there are 4 anthologies, collections, and this is one of the collections. Henry Jenkins' theory of convergence is critical in the age of globalization, ensuring participants interact and produce more valuable media content. So actually, it's quite welcoming to engage in this globalized Internet things world, that greater participation through online activations and interactions. And we were coming up with really resourceful, valuable inputs in the form of creations and masterpieces sometimes. Could be novels, could be poetry. I'm going to give an instance of the poetry. And also kind of heist or kind of, intriguing, futuristic sort of world where denizens of the digital denizens live, and like the one present in the first by the first presenter about the altogether imaginary world where we imagine things happening in the next 10 to 20 or 50 years, and how it's going to uh, alter the very sense of our sensory loads, and also about how it's going to affect not only the our day-to-day sentiment analysis. And so the what is more to be feared about is the kind of sentiment analysis, the algorithms, the company, the government, and they are, estimate the emotions dependent words, and the words are being translated into whole loads of data, and the platform like sentiment. A lab notebook explores how to write with as well as against this system that reduce the complexity of human emotions to a probability score between 0 and 1. There is an instance of the heart of the lab notebook, a series of poems written in response to the feedback of a machine learning power interface. So it's a poetry produced completely by machine, and using a combination of sentiment analysis and data visualization, this system goads the writer to perform emotional oscillation to swing widely from joy to gloom, exultation to depression. So media conversation culture is a phenomenon of the 21st century in which like a content flows across multiple media platforms, and also industries cooperate with each other almost everywhere in the search of the kinds of entertainment. So it's a big world where the social activity of young adult series, novels carries by on the cyberspace literacy have long said this activity is marked by sophisticated literacy engagement. It's not an ordinary day-to-day engagement like we do it with the traditional sense, but it's a sophisticated one. Rather, something that might displace traditional reading and writing skills. So black and skin color describes adolescent literacy engagement usual as a constellation of literacy activity. I mean, it's like a whole world in itself that includes advancing, resisting, and negotiating a medium linguistic norms, writing, performing original stories, and co-authoring collaboration. What's the beauty of it is that it's co-authored, collaborated worldwide, real time, using the docs and Google Docs, Google applications. There are so many applications I'll talk about. And navigating multiple texture genres, discovering, following inter-textual connections across multiple texture genres. So it's not just one type of text genre. Actually, it's a better readers. We readers have to better our peer reviewers of writer, the new virtual community members. So
can I please ask you to wrap up in the next 2-3 minutes?
Oh. Okay, so digital products might include book trailers, YouTube, banned books, virtual readout, blog, graphic blogs, traditional books. Also, it can be new thinking visible. We have to ask questions as an educator, as a teacher. Do students analyze and evaluate the multimedia resources they use? Do students evaluate multimedia resources for the effects of visual, sound, and hyperlink? And all the features in the text meaning or notional impact. Emotional impact. So we need to check out as whether the applications are being. This is the anthology of the electronic volume literature collection 2, and I was surprised to see that there is something from Saudi Arabia, also Qalb, Brooklyn, New York, United States began authors the statement where it's a completely online thing. And electronic literature collections volume 3, we have this, and we have some of the, I've given some examples of what are transversal competences that our young learners have to compete to come up with these genres of reproduction, and all of the spaces and collapsing and interview with extinct borrowers. This is another example of the whole series of interview in February. And so what was really disconcerting for me that I couldn't find much of the literature in our world, in our part of the world. There was something from India.
Sorry, but we just have to request you to wrap up in the next minute if you come to the summarize your argument.
Okay.
Thanks.
So this is short story exploring in 3D canvas. Then we have, this is another example of how AI and humans, they can further, how augmentation can be done with audiobooks, Evernote, and Doodly Body. Also, we can have substitution models of these apps. Also, it's when students are given opportunity to engage with digital tools of choice during the sector, actually they feel more confident using these digital tools than other generations. And this is the literacy 21st century skills improve. So this is the world, the young adults world. So I'm going to wrap up with 94% teens are online. According to recent Pew Internet reports, so obviously the whole world, 50% of the world are there too. So these include cabinet poetics, hypertext. All right, I think I've been able to highlight some of the key areas where young adult literature is involved and how they're coming up with. But not much has been done in our part of the world, and I think all the mythological books and our anthology like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puranas, all there are so many characters and all can be built up. We can have newer kind of upcoming that could compare with the rest of the world, like Hollywood and Hollywood movies and punks and cyberpunks. And thank you so much being with me. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. So, Sumaya, do we have any questions in the chat box?
We don't have any questions currently in the chat box.
So, very quickly, I'm going to ask just one question. I'm quite intrigued at your rather vast kind of survey of the field of teaching. Now, I wanted to take you back to ChatGPTs because that's what we are talking about quite a lot now. I was wondering, what do you think? Would poetry written by AI also count as digital literature or electronic literature? And how would we differentiate between poetry, literature written by AI, and literature written by humans? And do we even need to?
Yeah, actually, it's an unfounded fear for right now because we're not familiar with. This is like an augmented intelligence. It's a better intelligence, and we humans are behind these, data-driven. Actually, it has an access to the whole world of data. It gleans out the facts and figures from on its own. Actually, it toys with the idea of coming with something. It's like cooks up things, on its own. So, but there is a differentiation in like it's repetitive. It's not original in the sense that the emotive words or the kind of linguistic syntactic style that it comes up with. And obviously there will be some counter, anti-cheating kind of applications on the move, and this is not being released as a, and it's not even being treated as an authentic source of information for now.
So, okay, thanks a lot. I was wondering, Sumaya, that how are we doing for time? And
we are done with the time, 11:30.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to all the presenters and to you for being such a wonderful moderator. And
thank you to you too, sir, for.
Sorry about kind of my internet problems, but we look forward to the upcoming presentations in the other panels. So over to you, Sumaya.
Actually, I've been doing fine with the internet. I didn't experience much of the problem, You have been doing fine.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Dr. Sopik.
Thank you so much.
The next session is starting immediately, and I'll hand over the moderating duties to the next moderator. Please stay.
Recording stopped.